Colombia versus Peru. Let's get it. Colombia versus Peru.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because everyone from Colombia is basically just going to be incredibly mobile.
So we're basically going to see what we've been seeing already for every other bracket and division. There's Sombra, Tracer, Divas, Lucios, Kirikos, you know, the Sojourns, the Maze.
EQO finds the Lucio of Rodrigo on the backside. Also, the Immortality field was used, so a lot of cooldowns already out of Peru's side, while Colombia maintains a relatively healthy position, sitting on the middle of this point, still up a member as well in this fight. Rodrigo will come back into the fight. Point still not flipped. Colombia not able to take advantage of that early attack. Now we'll look for that back line, but translocate out is EQ on the back side. Eternal still playing, poking around the back as well, but Vaster is the one to find the opening onto EQO as well. Take that Sombra out early. Super Gomez loses the mech as well.
No, EQO is not.
Even though they lost a member early, Peru will win the fight and take the objective first.
Really good Maywalls coming from Diego.
No,
they just
bro,
made sure
really? Wait a minute, chat.
Managed to really support.
Fuck, I said Colombia.
Super Gomez now is actually going
Isn't there some type of statistic from like Overwatch 1? The first team that wins the or Overwatch League, the first team that wins the first fight is like 60% more likely to win the map.
Hitbox doesn't have enough sustainability, and it's going to be a mirror to come through. However, EQ is so close to EMP, it's sticking on the Sombra.
We'll see if he can have the follow-up in this fight. It's Eternal to find the opening shot of the Persona with the May Ice. Well, nice shot from Eternal on the re-engage as well to run into poke with that Immortality field and the Amplification Matrix. Eventually have to rotate around. EMP ready to go. Pops the EMP right into Lucio.
Okay,
and eventually we'll find Rodrigo as well as poke. Basketball's already traded. Super Gomez without the tank in the fight. I don't think Colombia can actually win this unless they manage to get picks on the backside and run out of this Nemesis form. But Eternal trades back Diego. Diego did find Mixby, but Baskerville still on this point is pumping out that damage as well. Has to deal with Hug. Unfortunately, can eventually not. They do have the beat on the point, even though they lost Baskerville.
I'm actually really surprised they didn't win that team fight.
Absolutely,
and they're switching the Sombra to the Reaper.
Both supports get hit by the EMP and almost immediately taken down, but Baskerville goes into Annihilation knowing that Colombia are going to have to try to gather onto that point to actually find the flip, and they're taking so much chunk damage from the Ram that they just do not have the means of being able to ice him in that prolonged Nemesis form. Now we're going to see off of the Sombra onto the Reaper, just trying to brawl and close the distance as fast as possible. Overclock comes through from Persona, going to be peeled away by that Blizzard to come through from Colombia. This should be them finally finding the flip, but Peru is still touching and not giving it up.
Colombia have
the slow and then the Reaper teleport to get close to finish.
Out on the objective. They found those two picks now. Pope still here on the backside, but has to deal with Super Gomez, who is pummeling him. EQ finally gets to Rodriguez as well in the delay.
Oh no. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. EQ's waking up, chat. EQ's waking up.
Flips for Colombia.
It's just a chess match between these two at the moment. Should I say a seesaw?
I would gap all these tanks. I'm also you should have played for Team UK.
Alongside it, Persona
you guys could have probably won against Denmark then.
That nade is going to come into effect massively by cancelling
I don't think you're going to play
the Lucio jump as well as EQO's teleport and rape. If he gets hit by a nade, he's done for.
Yeah.
I don't think you're better than Jakar.
Annihilation on the point goes incredibly low, gets poked out early. Both teams kind of running at each other's face. Now Super Gomez pops their ultimate while running into the entirety of Peru, tries to get the damage in there, and eventually Mixby does find Persona. They get it poked down on the backside. EQ is low, needs a bit of healing, so they can't really go too hard on the inside, especially versus Peru, who has that Maywall ready to go on Diego's side. They're still patiently waiting on that top angle as Peru regroups down below. Does have like Sunni Rush, so they can easily engage, but will have to deal with Hug's coalescence during this fight. EQ is still sitting above with that
EQO is kind of okay. This is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. It was 95 to 0. They're coming back. They're coming back. I want a good game, chat.
Try to regroup.
I want a good game.
Coalescence gone. Peru, because they're going to have this good scenario to couple with that Annihilation, they're sitting at 95%. All they need is one team kill. Colombia, on the other hand, have to poke and pressure these kills away, throwing ultimates in to buy themselves point percentage to have any chance at equalizing what Peru have already gained.
Peru walking through main, last fight territory now. EQO still waiting with that Death Blossom ready to go, but Peru have the ultimate advantage. They pop the Continuity Rush early. May wall off the back of the team. Yep, EQO still waiting around the main side with the Death Blossom, patiently waiting for his opportunity. There's the Annihilation push on that front side from Peru. Beat drops out as well from both sides. Still waiting to use that ultimate. It's Diego's May ultimate. The Blizzard zones out that back line. Now EQO goes with a Death Blossom.
Okay, at least he did a lot of damage before he died with that ult.
The Persona, who was traded out by Super Gomez. So Colombia up one in this fight, as well as Eternal desperately trying to build up towards that Blizzard. Looking at the tank player of basketball. Now drop the Blizzard into the back line. Able to find Rodrigo with Super Gomez. Combines for 2. And Colombia make that 99 comeback to take round number 1.
Wait,
use that
where's the audio?
You get that zone, you get that flip onto the point.
Wait, where's the audio?
Suddenly,
okay, chat, I got you guys. Don't worry.
The cast gets taken down. It doesn't get to be used. And honestly, that momentum scales from this moment right here. EMP coming in, hitting both those supports, nullifying a lot of that support utility, and finally allowing that swap as well off the Sombra onto the Reaper to really get up close, use the high ground. The fact that every time Peru had to approach, they were forced to an absolute standstill because EQ
die.
I mean, and on top of EQ, I know we talked about him quite a bit, but Eternal able to find those opening picks multiple times. Also hugged as well, playing amazing so far on that flex support. Opting to run a similar composition to EQ on the Sojor and hug back onto that Moira. Meanwhile, Peru playing that Zenyatta already get ran on early by EQO in the speed boost from Colombia, who have rotated all the way around the point. Down poke now. Peru has to find that equalizing pick. They drop the immortality field to keep Basketball healthy.
Watching Jay3 for hours
finding
of Overwatch sound effects
of Diego on the backside, able to find 3 in that fight alone. Now 4 for EQO, could potentially make it a 5-piece, but no, Persona will find 2 on the death. But Colombia, the first ones to capture the point.
Yeah, that's devastating for Peru. With that composition, you really want to be able to take control of that point because you know that your Orisa is going to get separated with a May wall. So you can at least, even if you lose the fight, find value of percentage gain, but they get absolutely nothing. Now we're going to see Basketball off the Orisa onto the Ramatra, poke for poke. Persona pretty close to that Dragon Strike. So Colombia do have to be careful that they don't get bottlenecked in lane.
Have to be aware of Persona getting incredibly close, like you mentioned. And those shots, those one-shots are going to be deadly on both sides. EQO obviously has that charge shot ready to go. Still looking for Persona on the back line. Also trying to find his opening picks, but EQO does match him on the left side. Gets him low on the back. Has the Dragon Strike ready to go, but the coalescence from Hug keeps his team healthy as they try to go forward on Peru, who can't sustain all of this damage. In fact, now they lose Baskerville on top of Super Gomez popping his own ultimate. 2 of those onto nothing that Peru had. It was really tough for Peru. They're going to have to reset now as the board reaches 50%.
And Persona had to hold on to that Dragon too. Peru's health bars was so low. He didn't want to throw the Dragon Strike into a team fight knowing that they hadn't been able to find a numbers advantage. They'll at least have it for this one, but you don't really have it to zone anything out other than this overclock that's going to come through the second that Peru step out of this choke. Disruptor shots make it even harder for them to approach, buys Colombia even more point percentage on the board.
Unfortunately, EQO has been so evasive on that backside. Does drop that overclock into Peru's backside. They now amp Matrix to counter it, but still have to avoid a lot of those shots from EQO. Diego with the Ant Matrix connects onto Hug on the back line, able to find that Moira early. They then rotate towards that point. Well, up a man. They also have full WAP control here. Eternal gets picked off by Persona, and now Peru is the one pressing the gas. Ski running on EQO as well.
Yo, Colombia is actually kind of slapping right now.
Peru, but they might be down and too far in terms of point percentage.
They've got ultimates, however, and they also now have control of these chokes. And Sanctum is really horrible once you lose control of that point because you're always stepping out into the open where defenders have those first couple of shots. And EQ on Sojourn doesn't have the opportunity to build up that ult fire on the railgun and look for a one-shot.
Waiting for the wall, but they're well aware of it. So there's an EQO far left. Now Eternal engages with that Blizzard. Diego also committed his own, but he's caught in the Blizzard. But a nice immortality from Poke keeps him healthy as Persona's Dragon Strike connects onto both EQO and Hug. Early 2 picks as well for them. Nice counter engage from Peru as Colombia attempted to engage with the Blizzard.
Yeah, it is just Poke, however, coming through from Colombia, other than throwing in that Blizzard, trying to bait ultimates out from Peru. And as a result, Peru actually lost more ultimates than Colombia. Now we're going to be seeing a swap come through. EQO off of that Sojourn, understanding that just power sliding and threatening that point flip is not going to be enough to buy this team safety through this choke. Instead, it's back towards that Reaper, using that Wraith Bomb to be able to get up close and personal and threaten some of this utility.
Yeah, Peru can't get picked off here. They do hold this choke, though, allowing Persona to get that opening shot onto Super Gomez, even through the beat drop from Mixie, or it was a bit too late there. And now Mixie does get that.
Oh, come on, come on.
Rodrigo, though, who has
I want Peru to take this one, actually. I want Peru to take this map.
Even though they are down a man, they still,
I can't believe Colombia actually took the other map.
They found
reverse
that
swept
Lucio
that shit.
off. Rodrigo now has to come back into this fight as Mixie regroups the rest of that lineup. Now Colombia will walk into the main, have to deal with this hand matrix and poke. It does get walled off, giving them that space. But the beat drop re-engage. Diego finds Eternal, as well as the backside shots from Persona onto EQO. Cannot give them the sustain. However, the Annihilation still going from Super Gomez. Mixie has looped off Diego. He's killed Persona, and he still has the Annihilation going, but Rodrigo trades him out finally. It's overtime. It's now ticking down. Eternal has to swap over to the Tracer. Mixie comes through to that point to try to delay the point in that overtime to give his team that chance they need to come back and re-contest. Baskerville does get poked down low, has to back up from this point though. Colombia's actually regrouped and are back on the point, almost capturing up. Persona has baited the rest of Colombia into his Dragon Strike to find Mixie, a Blizzard to zone as well, and nobody else can touch because of the Blizzard. Peru will equalize it 1-1.
Oh, it's not just
That's what I'm talking about, bro. I want a good game. I want a good game.
Really has to do a lot of work, and he managed to do it on that third map now.
As well, coming through, but now we're immediately headed back into Village, and there it is, EQ off of the rip on that Reaper. Both of these teams mean to stay on these compositions.
And they actually get shut out at the choke and have to use the Immortality field here early in this fight as Colombia look to continue that pressure on the inside to make sure that Persona is not given space to work with. But now they're able to walk out. EQ has to teleport back to the point. Colombia's kind of half split on fighting on the high ground and rotating to the point. EQ is already back on the point. Needs that assistance from his team as Peru tries to rotate over that. They actually leave Persona back behind, but he's able to join the rest of his team. However, the Ant Matrix was built by Poke in that fight. What an incredibly fast Ant Matrix built by him to find that shot on Diego on the mix feed. And eventually Peru will win the first fight after a very split kind of disengage from Colombia.
And there is no punishment for using that amp early because Colombia aren't running anything that can really push onto the team with an amplification matrix of their own. They're not running the map, so Poke doesn't have to save it.
Yo, this is do or die right here for the first map.
Space that Colombia tried to take from Peru, and Persona off of the back of that damage not only survives, but has a Dragon Strike built up for the next fight.
On the rest of Colombia, ready to walk through main. 30% of the board has built that Dragon Strike like you said, but the Fade already comes through. Knowing that cooldown's out, will drop the Dragon Strike from above. Will anybody get picked off? No, but it does force the cooldown from Eternal on the point. Ready to go with that Coalescence now, though, is Hug on that re-engage, dropping the Blizzard as well from Eternal. Persona drops off the back to find the shots into Blizzard as well as the Annihilation. Trading player for player.
Oh, shit. Super Gomez is literally bringing this shit back for his team. He's not going to be able to win it, I think.
On the opposite side,
he doesn't have any heals. He's not going to win it. There's no way he lives. There's no way he lives.
Perfectly plays this, rotates around the point, will now capture it. Basketball has to come into delay, but eventually will get picked off at the end.
Oh, and he gets staggered now as well, so that's even more time going to be built for Colombia to be able to sit on this high ground. EQ is going to have a Death Blossom when we head into this. The good news, however, is that Peru aren't up against something like a Tracer or a Sombra, so they're not going to be bullied into dropping Immortality field from Poke too early. They should be able to negate a massive majority of this damage.
But Persona, nice shot on the Hug as they walk out of the choke, giving them that man advantage. EQ now has to equalize it, but Super Gomez is found too with the pummel and that beat drop mix feed, dropping it for that team, able to give them this fight win. Another team kill for Colombia.
No Death Blossom needed if they're going to come from this rotation
power
on
two,
the high
please. Appreciate the massive 6 months, fine.
Pummel cleaves.
Everloading, appreciate the massive. Get this up.
Everybody is stuck there. Everyone is taking those hits. Immortality is forced out so early. They know that Peru don't have beat to be able to match the sustainability that Colombia can use, and they just get aggressive.
To the end of these matches, I appreciate the massive 6 months, my friend.
They do have the Ant Matrix though to give them that damage.
Oh, he's hiding. He's hiding.
EQ hiding around the corner. It looks like not. And EQ comes into the back.
Dude, Immortality, bro.
And also Rodrigo, two basketball builders traded back. EQ eventually fell during the Death Blossom. Also the Dragon Strike here to find Mixby. Gives Persona that space to then walk forward with the rest of his team. But Eternal finds Poke in that side as well. They trade actually 1-for-1 as the point now goes up to 75%. Colombia still are in charge with the Coalescence, now 80% of the board. Last fight territory for Peru.
That is, however, Coalescence having to be burned late in that fight, and Peru, they're going to be swapping onto these fast, speedy heroes who can self-sustain and stall for this point as long as possible, because they know Coalescence isn't going to be
the
there
Sonic
to
in the
save
guy's
team
body looks
through
so
Annihilation
weird.
or Blizzard. Just go straight to point, drop Annihilation, find the flip that
That's
Colombia's
a
waiting to meet them.
huge mail for Colombia.
Nobody else can
Holy
touch either.
shit.
Colombia will stop Peru. I wonder if both of these teams really, because you saw Moxie on map number 1. You know, EQO is obviously on the Sombra, but you know, at times maybe that engaged, because they found the opening pick on round number 1.
Okay, chat, let's get it.
But,
Let's get it.
We're not able to fully follow through with that Sombra. And look, Moxie, they're changing to more poke comp to rely on maybe a bit more mechanical skill from EQO.
That's also bullet hell, right? Trying to get a Sombra past that church through the Sonic. Coming first from the Hanzo, which goes to show where you are in South form. As early Immortality Kill gets immediately blitzed down by EQO.
Who are you rooting for, Jay? I want a good match. But if I had to say who's winning, I think Colombia is, just because of EQO. That's the only person I know. EQO, you know, is the only familiar name I'm with, so I'm going to go with him.
Nope. I mean, I love to see.
And it looks like I picked a good team because they took the first fucking point in 45 seconds.
Taking a very fast point A, Moxie.
Yeah, and they can't even really go towards choke at the moment because they have to still contest with EQO. The Ramatra Baskerville's attention is entirely spent using that shield to block some of those poke arrows coming through, to make sure that Peru Squishy survives the engagement towards Arch, where both of these teams now will vie over. Peru to fall so much time off of the clock, but going down one handle already. Just missed.
Pretty sure he's not the real EQO.
I love how EQO is like, why would
a fake EQO sign up for
swap him over to the Hanzo and he'll carry you to victory? Colombia, another fight win for them.
I tell you what, I used to be a player in
There's
the
no way.
Overwatch
That has to be the real EQO. Am I getting trolled?
2023 until
Am I getting trolled here?
12 EQO hours. Not for the knee, but definitely for the head. He is hitting these shots and not slowing down anytime soon. And unfortunately, because Hanzo just kills so many people so quickly.
It's EQO and he's playing from Israel on 200 ping.
Oh, for sure. Eternal also build up towards that Blizzard. Colombia doing a great job building up towards those ultimates. Poke on towards that Ana for this composition. Maybe
Mito Kid, appreciate that 17 months. Welcome back, my friend.
Grenades, but Dragon Strike ready at the corner, knowing where Baskerville is. He's waiting to pop the Dragon Strike Vortex here as well into the Blizzard. They do zone it back, but with their mace.
Nice, that was a good dragon to split off the tank and a few teammates and get the kills. So, EQO is kind of popping for 200 ping.
EQO also finds Persona. And so far, they do commit every ultimate besides beat, but it's yet again another fight win for Colombia.
And now they've secured what they wanted to. They secured a team kill, so they've immediately gift wrapped high ground for EQO. It doesn't matter if you don't have ultimates, if you can one-shot them before the fight starts.
Let's see if he finds it. Looking towards the back. He's storm arrowing. Over to Nerf. Came through in the recent patch, but will hit Rodrigo. Persona does trade it back, avenges his teammate, but they now need to find a little bit more space on the high ground. Actually gives it up early as he notices his team is low to drop the Dragon Strike, maybe looking for a bit of a positional advantage. Also fading out his hug though, so no kill, but at least zone now for Colombia as they regroup with EQO.
Yeah, Peru have to be so careful that they don't just dump all of their ultimates into this next fight, however, because Colombia are going to be coming up with their Simer, and that means that they can get aggressive with this May. As Peru are yet to actually be baited into throwing an ultimate that they don't want to.
They pop the Nano, going to the back line, into that Nemesis form, looking for that Moira, but does fade away. Notices that Eternal's caught out of it. Has to use that Vice Block for it, but now the ultimate gets ran out. Baskerville has to zone to the left with the Blizzard to try to capitalize here as well. Also does commit that ultimate late in this fight, so they commit both Blizzard and Annihilation. Do find the kills off of it at least, and also find a late pick on the Super Gomez, but Colombia only committing the beat drop to bait out 2 ultimates there.
They're going to have Dragon Strike as well as Blizzard and Annihilation plus Coalescence to sustain through the snowball. Peru cannot afford to get split when this next Dragon Strike comes out. That was what we saw being used the last time to catch all of this team away from that Lucio's disengagement. And Colombia are definitely looking to do the same.
Oh my god, it should be extremely big. They find Baskerville on the engage. That's a 4-person assist onto Baskerville as well. Super Gomez trades back Diego. EQO does take some shots from Poke, but Peru just running into this fight. A bit of a dry fight for them. Persona does trade out Hug, but he's already lost the entirety of his team, leading to pretty much last fight territory for them.
Yeah, the split was perfect from the Dragon Strike. You saw Peru, they couldn't even try to disengage. They were so far away from that. Lucio is EQO chases down Baskerville. No rematcher for the next 30 seconds. And now he's just going to play bouncer at these spawn doors.
Yeah, and he has to swap to the Wrecking Ball. They're going to have to recontest without him. Diego also may
Yo, Colombia is pushing
to be there in time,
far into their spawn, bro.
To save Diego nicely on a Super Gomez, but the entire team of Poke is
gone. Oh no, Super Gomez, Super Gomez.
And now they have 3 minutes and 13 seconds.
I don't know who Super Gomez is. I think this is my first time seeing him. He is popping. But what a lot of pro players don't do is they don't build their own brand. They don't build their own stream and whatnot. So after the pro play, after the pro stuff, they don't have anything to fall back on. Some of them become coaches, but like
forward for them.
Like if you look at other games, a lot of people actually just become streamers.
Yeah,
like
there's a little bit.
Streaming is a
lot of
you should build your own brand while you're in the pro scene. Like look at Super's done that. Championships. Look at his stream. Has something to fall back on when he doesn't want to do pro play anymore. But Fang, Christian has to give this up in AKA. Christian has 2 months.
Swap into hotel, check in, get the cooldowns back up and push on point. This is a comp falling apart.
Wait, I'm actually surprised.
Nice
Wait a minute, they're bringing out the Cassidy.
Yeah, eventually finds Diego, and you gotta check as you walk in.
Not a lot of players do it, Chad, is what I'm trying to say. Seagull's done it, XQC, Jay, yeah, but like how many other people have been in the Overwatch? Like you're comparing 3, 4, 5 people to like hundreds that are in the Overwatch league.
Basketball comes back into it. Colombia not able to finish on the targets that were really pretty easy to finally kill.
Persona is actually kind of clapping on the cast.
Now Peru.
Wait, Peru took the map in a minute.
Towards that point, already have up to 2 ticks. The recontest is going to be incredibly difficult now at this rate.
I don't think they are going to recontest. They have to wait for Eternal to respawn. Now they've given up that point, but they've chosen to defend around this choke. If Eco can find a pick, oh my goodness, Diego goes so incredibly low. If that may have gone down, Colombia instantly gets so much time back on that clock off of Peru's attack, but they're able to save the May, and now we just go back to the stalemate.
Now EQO is able to spam. Nobody really
I'm liking Peru. Oh, okay, never mind.
Get that space, but already taking 2 storm arrow shots to the dome.
I was gonna like them to wall off something here.
They have to commit the immortality field. Peru out of cooldowns. They need to find kills now, but into a dragon strike. I'm not sure how they do. EQO with the storm arrow finds onto Diego, and with the dragon strike onto Poke. Super Gomez combines for another one. That's a 3K for EQO in Colombia.
Gorgeous game sense. They know that no one from Peru can really play right behind that.
Is there any successful Overwatch streamer that sucks at the game?
From Super Gomez, so EQO sends the dragon strike not behind the Rhine, but to the side of him.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Squishies are playing on that payload, and instantly it splits the Rhine away from his sustainability, and also splits the team away from that tank to be able to absorb all of the damage when Colombia gets.
No, I'm joking. I love flats. I love flats. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Pretty obvious High Noon down below. No kill for them, but just the zone towards that cart. Maybe they just wanted to get
Jay3 sucks.
Against Colombia, who had that ultimate from Super Gomez. Eternal also up to that Blizzard. There's the amplification matrix. Persona also kills Super Gomez before they're able to commit.
Oh, he headshot the May, but he didn't get the kill on the May because of the new Hanzo changes. Haha, lol XD. Can I get a smile, chat?
Get another fight in that creep phase.
Look at the amount of ultimates that they had to use to actually be able to get that payload moving yet again. And Colombia, yeah, they lost Super Gomez early in this fight, but silver lining, it means they still have Annihilation and Soundbar to keep this Ramatro chopped up to full health and play aggressively against Peru, who do have that Blizzard to be able to zone the Ramatro back.
Yeah, Diego could get a big Blizzard, but Colombia have done a good job reading where Diego is sitting.
Okay, let's see what Diego does here. Diego is the winning condition. He needs to hit a fat Blizzard.
In neutral game, EQO can find those shots. Blizzard towards the cart. The counter, the Blizzard of Eternal actually does catch Super Gomez.
Oh, wait a minute!
Him is not enough. Too much damage on the side of Peru.
This is huge for Peru. If Peru gets this cap, this is going to be a huge fucking game.
Meanwhile, Diego looking for that left side flank angle of Colombia as they attempt to actually run onto EQO, making sure none of that space is afforded to make sure they shut down that DPS player.
This is a long team fight.
It really authority.
Nice, Persona's hitting shots. Oh, hits him with an nade, the new nade.
That EQO is gone. They finally kill Mixby as well. There's a coalescence that was late from Hug. Maybe ill-advised. They do have Super Gomez here. High Noon pop just to make sure they win this fight. They don't want to.
Okay. I mean, it's High Noon, chat. High Noon's a fucking dog shit. Dude, Super Gomez popped his ult
right here and right now, but a shatter.
There's no way Colombia's still in this. There's no way Colombia is winning this. How are they winning this?
From Colombia, whose backs were against the wall.
It cost them so many ultimates, but my goodness, it's going
How
to do
did they come back and stop that?
To Peru's overall longevity in terms of time bank. Even if they make it into point C, they're going to have even less time than Colombia already has.
I want to see that fight back, bro. That is literally insane. I don't know. The stall and the comeback and the...
Nah. Vulnerable once that shield just gets absolutely shattered by EQO's poke onto that Ramatra to try to match this poke coming through from Colombia.
Now, a lot of these fights, Colombia just straight up should not be winning, but keep coming out on top mechanically. Over the top, does drop that Storm Arrow, not able to find the kill, but baits Rodrigo into fighting him. Meanwhile, Ant Matrix on the low ground, trying to find that poke damage on the low, but not able to get a kill just yet on anybody.
Rodrigo. Oh, 3 HP, 3 HP. Oh, okay, they're even, they're even.
From Persona, eventually Poke jumps up to get that kill, but it's far too late. Diego is also gone. Colombia have the man advantage. Will now regroup around this corner with 1 minute and 30 seconds left as Peru falls back.
Don't get stagger picks. Moira Rob comes through. Lamp actually invested from Peru just in case. They would much rather waste that cooldown and have it and all of their players alive for this next fight, because it is going to be the last regroup that they get before we're into overtime panic.
And Blizzard from Eternal has been big before. Waiting on that corner. Peru in a really rough spot to deal with it. Annihilation being built up from Super Gomez as well. Neutral fight now happening. Peru actually wants to walk in, set up Persona towards that pub side. They poke him out, see the Blizzard on the cart with the beat drop from Diego. It's a great Blizzard to zone out Colombia. Eco goes incredibly
He has
low,
his ult again.
Not able to find kills just yet. The Annihilation re-engage. Now Eternal's found that shot onto Persona again.
Oh,
with 38
no,
seconds left.
No. Peru, what are you guys doing? You guys gotta die now. Get another team fight. There's only 30 seconds.
Using the ultimates. Get one last fight. One last recontest.
30 seconds is a long time, chat, but...
moving into position to be able to stop just that. It's going to be an overtime push, and they're going to have a Dragon Strike Dust. And we've seen this song and dance before. You don't put your Hanzo into a position where he can get picked. You sit back, you hold on to your ultimate, and then you throw it onto the cart when Peru don't have any time left and have no means of being able to dodge the damage.
Yeah, Peru having to play this well. Diego comes through that pump out on the Tracer, though. Maybe that swap confuses EQO.
Oh, EQO's dead. That's bad. That's bad for Colombia.
Loses his life.
That is bad for Colombia.
Perfectly. Baited EQO into going aggressive towards the back of the pub. Now no Hanzo from Colombia's side. They have that beat drop to fight this, but Peru have that ult advantage. Persona went for that far left flank, regroups to the rest of his team, but is dealing with Super Gomez.
Great immortality. Great immortality, even though immortality is a dumb ability.
Also gets rid of Eternal. Mixby as well falls in Peru in overtime. Will capture.
They had like 3 minutes to cap this.
EQO wanted that angle to be able to send the Dragon Strike dead on the payload and catch all of those players on the horizontal, and it left him oh so vulnerable to Diego flanking in on that Tracer. They'll still have Dragon Strike for this next fight, however, and should be able to use it to reclaim a lot of space, specifically this high ground that Peru don't have the means of being able to take away. They're wanting the cast still, not the hands on.
Bro. Yeah. I'm doing the gamer pose with these matches, bro. You guys know what I'm talking about? When you get into a fucking, like, you know, heated game and you have to do the gamer pose, get forward and everything. These games are so fucking fun to watch.
Avoiding the ultimate full spawn from Diego. Dragon Strike from EQO. No death just yet. The hug has been aggressive with his coalescences. Is playing at the back of the map. EQO at the high ground is not really contested. Diego's pinged him out. So they're aware of those Hanzo shots at the very least, but now ready to go with Diego on the back line, looking for EQO, who just dropped off.
That would have been a good kill.
Not have a lot of those healing because he's back on the high ground, but it's Super Gomez to find the opening pick on a Persona. EQO needs some healing, but Diego is there on the back line. However, Colombia's already gone
Super
forward.
Gomez, bro. I thought EQO was going to be like the main character, bro. That plot armor. But I think it's Super Gomez. Super Gomez is literally just fucking throwing it down. This guy's disgusting.
Diego to try to suck resources away from Colombia's backline. They don't have a Blizzard to counter it as EQO is on the Widowmaker. Here we go. One shots galore for the defending team, and there it is. They walk straight into it.
Oh my god, EQO. Takedown Persona before the beat drop was even there. Now Peru down on a man in overtime. Widowmaker usually does well, but Diego is able to find Super Gomez. Their tank player is also nice and healthy with that implication matrix. Rodrigo did go aggressive on EQO.
Nice, Diego.
Well.
Nice.
Peru in overtime again will win this fight.
Okay, Chad, this is going to be very interesting. Colombia kind of fucked themselves. They have no ult economy here. They have to win 2 fights to probably get our ult, or have 1 long fight. Peru has 3 ults. I think Peru wins this. They literally have tank ult in overtime.
Swap to Hanzo, then over to Reaper, looking for that trade.
Colombia, I don't think Colombia does have 3 minutes in the bank too, but
waiting for that fade to come through from the mortar, but takes Nicicles, will have to back off.
Wait,
meanwhile, the Annihilation on the low ground, Eternal able to find Rodrigo. So Colombia coming back into this, but Poke able to find one. Basketball goes aggressive as well. The Annihilation to get rid of EQO. Hug falls, so does Super Gomez, and in overtime, the last second pushes. It's working for Peru. The beat drop and Eternal are still here though. They have to sustain to wait for the spawn, but it is overtime, so the spawns are a bit longer. Eternal falls, so does Nixby. Eventually, Hug does rotate back. Basketball goes incredibly low, but EQO on the tracer.
I mean, it doesn't even really matter. They're not going to win this team fight. Colombia's not going to win the team fight, but I mean, they stopped it. It's an overtime, and they have 3 minutes and 13 seconds to get a tick.
Baskerville does serious work on that Ramatra, being able to survive, coming in with those pummels, the zones as well when you're outside of that Nemesis form, to be able to shut down the space that Colombia are trying to take, making it so easy to be able to tag down those members who are looking to stall on the payload for as long as possible. So with the slightest bit of target focus, you very quickly dispatch the reinforcements that are trickling one by one onto the cart, not allowing them to find any staying presence to board into ultimate.
Let me guess. Jay said Peru. Wait, what? For who's going to win this? I said Colombia, bro. Come on. Don't try to say that I'm unlucky. I'm not unlucky.
A large time bank in Colombia's back pocket to capture out.
I have a 98% success rate picking a team who's going to win. 98.
Hitting these really fast kills with these Hanzo arrows, and that if that happens yet again, this team is going to absolutely speed and steamroll in the blink of an eye. Some really good swaps coming through, however, anticipating that, okay, Eco is using a lot of that very aggressive hands-on mobility to get himself into position to look for those 1v1s. Swaps to the cast, uses the nade, tags him onto it so that he doesn't get to launch back to his team, and finally we see the punishment come through. But I mean, that time bank, it's going to be such a high mountain to climb.
Yeah, I don't think Peru's winning here, chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Colombia's gonna take the easy 2-0.
Hanzo's one shots. Persona's gonna be on the Ash though to maybe try to counter what Colombia is trying to do, especially since they don't have a Suzu to cleanse any of that damage from the Dynamites. But Basketball taking down incredibly low again. We saw this previously, committing the Immortality field on the inside. Well, actually went a little bit too far past, but Persona counters out EQ.
Holy shit, what are they doing in there, bro?
For Persona to find that kill to prevent a disaster class that has happened before. For Peru on this first stand.
What are they doing in there? It's like a bunch of little cockroaches in a corner.
Come back to the spot, but Eternal finds that kill.
Oh, come on, Persona.
Persona looking for that turtle top, but has to reload. Not able to get that shot onto Lucio, who's been a nuisance to him. And Eternal yet again finds Basketball. What shots out of the main player of Colombia, rotated all the way here. Nobody else can really touch but the Lucio player of Rodrigo, and everybody else is in tier. Colombia.
I just want to say, so far I'm 1-0 with predictions in this bracket.